Hello! Welcome me, Tindo Puppet, back to the Tendo Show. As you might recall, Tindo kicked me out about a year ago now.
I am tired of you, stupid puppet. Get out of here.
Well, I guess this is goodbye, friends. Until we meet again. But I'm back, and I'm gonna ruin Tindo's life. Anyways, we're gonna do the Tendo Show every week, hopefully, from now until forever on Sundays. So, set your calendars. Every Sunday night, you're gonna come back, you're gonna hang out with us on the Tendo Show. We're gonna talk about puppets, Furbies. Look at all those Furbies back there. Look at them. Matter of fact, on today's episode, we are going to talk about Furbies. We're going to take this one apart. I don't know what that was. Where's the Furby? Yeah! Stick around for the show! What's up, party people? Welcome to the Tendo Show. Hannah, did you notice I found a top hat? Tell me why this top hat was in your selling closet. I robbed this from you.
Do you remember when we found that hat?
No, I don't. I didn't know it was in there.
I remember finding it. We found it in the bins, and I showed it to you. You're like, oh my god, I need that top hat. And then we went and bought it.
I can say unequivocally that sounds like something I would say, but I had forgotten it was there. Let me tell you guys what's going to happen on today's episode of the Tendo Show before we get started, and then we'll get into some shenanigans. You see this right here? This is a wonderful, lovely, perfect Furby, nothing wrong with it, batteries tested. I didn't have this yesterday. What I did have was the same Furby, but with mega problems. The ears, look, you see this? The ears are just muffed up. Battery cover gone, terminals super rusted out, coming in pieces. So I had this yesterday. My friend Abigail sent me this one. So I now have a perfect one, which means we can get inside of this one. Obviously, anyone who watches this channel regularly knows that I love myself some Furby. Right back here is my whole collection. It's taken over a whole shelf of its own, and all these are tested and working, some of them lightly repaired. I've not done any repairs to any Furbies yet on the inside. All the repairs I've done thus far have been just fixing battery terminals, cleaning off some gunk, stuff like that, replacing one piece of the outside from another one. I've never broken into the inside of one. So on today's episode, I'm going to try to delicately take this apart and dismantle it into as many pieces as possible. So we can do a couple things. We can learn about the inside of the puppet so that we can, perhaps if we can cleanly just get the skin of it off. Hannah, you can see the sew lines, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to make a Furby pattern.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can start making our own with some that are busted up. Like if we get some that are cut up, we can get some goofy materials, even furrier materials, and make our own Furby. I think that would be great.
That'd be fun.
But I don't know. I don't know how hard it's going to be to get into. If it's built like a fortress, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We could get there. Don't plan on it. I've got all the tools set aside here that we might need to get into it. But let's not jump right into that. Let's talk a little bit. Hannah, compliment me on my suit.
Well, everybody in the chat's talking about
Are they really?
How nice your suit is.
Does anybody approve of my choice of footwear?
Flippy floppies.
No, my Crocs. I got my Crocs on. You guys would not believe how absolutely impossible it was to find a suit that fits. There's a lot going on with a suit, right? Hannah, as a tailor, you might be able to explain to them how a suit's supposed to fit. Where should these sleeves of this suit be sitting?
You need about at least 3 inches, maybe 4 or 5.
I am 3 or 4 inches short of this suit being long enough because, you know, any extension of my arm, you can see that my sleeve comes out. However, I kind of get away with it by wearing long enough sleeves. The dress shirt tends to be the easiest part of a suit for me to find. Most of the time, it's a little bit difficult in the neck because my neck is as big around as a horse's neck. But I do. The other funny part too is we couldn't find a suit with pants that fit me perfectly. So these are actually not matched. These pants are not matched to the suit. This is a pair of Wranglers. But you can't tell. It looks great on camera. I'm telling you. Look, the only thing don't match. It's Crocs, but I'm not mad about it.
I love you can't like lift your foot all the way up. I would demonstrate, but I'm not wearing any shoes.
Well, I can't do it like this. Like there's no, I can't get high enough. I am limited in that range of motion. Hannah, have I ever told you about the time that I wore a suit to a wedding that was about 4 sizes too small?
No, I don't think so.
Well, good. I saved that story for a podcast. My best friend in the whole wide world is this guy named Alex. I call him Alex Two Phones, which is really funny if you know him because he doesn't have 2 phones. He has 5 phones.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Alex 5 Phones doesn't sound as funny as Alex Two Phones. So he asked me to be in his wedding and to give a speech at his wedding, stuff like that. And honestly, I'm not going to place any blame on this situation on him. It was mutual blame. We both messed up. At one point or another, in a Facebook conversation, he said, "Hey, we're wearing black suits to the wedding. Do you have one?" I said, "No." He said, "We're wearing blue suits." I can't get this wrong. He'll fry me. He said, "We're wearing navy blue suits to the wedding.
Okay.
Do you have one?" I said, "No." He sent me a link.
Okay.
And I waited until the last minute to order my suit for the wedding, and I ordered the suit from the link, which was a black suit. And I got to the suit, he says, "Your suit's supposed to be blue." And I was like, "The link you sent me was black." He's like, "Yeah, but I said order the blue one." Turns out 3 of the 6 dudes in the wedding did the same thing.
Oh no.
Luckily, I was home. Now we were living in California. Were we in California or were we living here in Arizona at the time?
Alex's wedding.
I started off with the top
We were in
hat.
California.
I started off with the top hat as a joke, but I have grown to like it. So he goes, "Well, okay, it's 24 hours before the wedding. Let's go buy you a suit." I said, "I'm in. This would be great. I've always wanted a suit that fits nice."
Challenge accepted.
There's no time to go to a tailor or to go to one of the rental places. And even then, the rental place might have been a farce. So we start driving around town. We go to the mall. We go to Kohl's, just anywhere you could go. Oh, they probably have suit jackets. Every single place that we went, I tried on the biggest suit. And now Sears. There was a Sears in my hometown at that time.
Yeah.
There is no longer a Sears in my
May they
hometown.
rest in peace.
May they rest in peace. But they always were known in my town. I don't know how they are in your town. They were known for having some big and tall sections, right? So we go in there and we tell this lady, "Hey, ma'am, we need a suit." And she goes, "Okay, we'll come on to the back. Here you go. And she goes, "Well, what size are you?" I was like, "I don't know. Give me the biggest one you have." And she's like, "I don't know. What's your size? You got to know your size." I was like, "Ma'am, just give me the biggest one and we'll start from there. We'll either go backwards or we'll go forwards from the biggest one, but I assure you we need to start with the biggest one." So she goes and gets the biggest one on, and I put the jacket on, okay? And instantly it's too small, right? But it's not the worst in the world, but it's just I can get it on, I can kind of button it if I suck it in. Mind you, I was actually probably 25, 30 pounds heavier than I am right now.
Yeah.
I was getting a little swole in the wrong way. Do you know what I mean?
The wrong way.
Right here. You know what I mean? Not up here. I can't even do this with this suit on. So she ends up giving me the biggest pair of pants she has that aren't actually from the suit it was supposed to match, because she realized by this point that I'm 6'7", 400 pounds. We got to do something. She gives me these pants, and I was like, "I don't know. They look a little tight." She's like, "You might be able to pull it off. Here's the waiting room." I go in the what do you call it? Dressing room. Dressing room. I change my drawers, and I come out, and I kid you not, my buddy and her are standing right here. She runs in front of my buddy. Stand up. I need you as an example. She runs up to me and goes, "No! He can't wear those!" Because she can see my pee-pee!
Well, because they went zip.
Well, they were just too tight! You can just see the shape!
Anybody want to see that?
No! She goes, "Take it off! Take it off!"
I wish she was offended by it. She was just like,
No, she wasn't.
mortified.
She was clearly did this for a living, and she was afraid of I don't know if she was like, "My bro's gonna think I got a little pee-pee." I don't know what went through her head. If I could find her today, I'd ask her. So we have to leave Sears, and Sears is our last stop. We don't know what to do after Sears, because we know Sears is supposed to have some big suits. So we end up going. Where do you think we go next? Take a guess.
I'm just gonna shot in the dark Goodwill.
We went to Goodwill. And at this point in my hometown, I think there was still, there was 2 Goodwills. I think there might be a third one in my hometown. I don't know. But at this time, we went to the newer Goodwill. And I think even at this point, I may not have been to that Goodwill. And this was actually really interesting at the time because the old Goodwill in my hometown was all I ever knew about Goodwill before we moved here and started a channel that is essentially a thrifting channel. So I go home and my buddy's like, well, let's go to the new Goodwill. I was like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And we go to the Goodwill and we start looking around. And I was first amazed because the Goodwill was set up just like our Goodwills here. And I guess our Goodwills here in town have the modern, they're on the edge, and a lot of places around the country kind of follow suit or something like this. Because it was a nice Goodwill. It felt like a Goodwill that could be here in town. I was like, my hometown has an awesome Goodwill. That's awesome, because I never liked the older one. So we get to looking around, and the first thing we find is a pair of pants that pretty much fit. I can't quite button them, but I got a nice big belt, so I put them on unbuttoned. And I already had a shirt. I showed up with the right shirt. And then we ended up finding a jacket that fit-ish. But
it blue.
The pants fit better than the Sears, but the jacket didn't fit better than the Sears one. So so I was just fighting, and my buddy was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm sorry we made this mistake. Why don't you just wear the black one? I was like, dude, I'm not going to be in your wedding party in this beautiful Catholic church and be the one dude in a black suit out of all this other sea of blue. Like, there's just not going to happen. So I end up being just, and mind you, all the other bridesmen, bridesmaids. I was not going to get there. All of them were, one or two of them were a pretty good size, but we talk all the time on this channel about how large I am.
Yeah.
And we don't do that to brag. We do it because no matter what scenario we find ourselves in this world, us being large has an effect on where we go, what we do. We're both that big. Hannah, stand up. You make me look normal because the ratio of you to me is like, oh, there's a normal couple. But then people see us in public and they see you first and they go, you're huge! Look, compared to what they think.
I'm tall.
They think that they've seen you on video and you look like this little girl and you're not.
Yeah, like I'm not 5'2".
Right. So I'm big. So I end up standing in this wedding, and I wish I had gotten pictures for this, but we didn't plan on telling this story really. It was kind of off the cuff. And so I'll have to share some pictures maybe later. You guys go follow me on Instagram. I'll post one. But the lineup of us dudes on stage and me over here trying to like suck it in for this suit so it doesn't explode. Oh, no. And mind you, this is one of the few times, maybe 3 times in my life I've been in a wedding. So of course I was in the suit all day.
Yeah. From
beginning to end.
And it's a Catholic wedding too.
I kid you not. I wore my basketball shorts underneath it and a tank top. When the wedding was over, I walked out of the Catholic church and stripped on the front porch of the Catholic church. And I threw it all in the trash can sitting out in front of the Catholic church. Got in my little van and drove away. True story. That is the story of the time that Tindo wore a suit to a wedding that was 5 times too. You know, I should clickbait this video. The clip of this. Tindo wears a baby suit to a wedding. All right, well, guys, that's enough about me and my baby suit. You guys comment below and let me know a time that perhaps you had to wear something embarrassing to a wedding or thought you were wearing something cool to a wedding and it turned out to be embarrassing. Or just tell me your worst wedding story. I don't care. We can talk about weddings today.
Sunblade Dragon, thank you for the little dono.
Oh.
He said that Alex is here.
Alex is here where?
The Mr. Alex.
We'll find the comments from him.
It's buried. Hold on.
All right, that story went on a little long. You showed up a little late, Alex. But thanks for that.
Comment again so I can see your username.
Thanks for that $5 though. We'll get breakfast on you tomorrow. I like wearing a suit though, you know. I honest to God, I would probably just wear suits on all our daily videos if it weren't for the fact that they just cook you.
Yeah.
If there were a way for me to wear some sort of thin underwear onesie kind of thing that also did like water cooling all around my body and I could just be cool in this suit all day, I'd rock this. This is fine. I'm not uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you're just prone to be hot anyway.
Yeah.
You just cook no matter where we are.
Well, let me show you guys one more thing here. I plan on wearing suits for this live show every time we do it, and I think I'm going to make my thing wearing a pin for every episode. And there's today's pin, courtesy of Tom Ryan Studios. Go look him up on Instagram. Consider buying from him. He makes some of the... I have about 1,000 pins in my collection. All the coolest ones are from him. Not a sponsor, just a bro. But honestly, you should subscribe and hit the notifications on this channel for nothing else than to just come back for next week's live show and see what pin I decide to wear, because I've got about 200 of them. I've got about 1,000 of them before I run out, and I won't be able to wear new ones. So there you go.
You got some time then.
You better scroll up through there and find Alex's comment.
I did. He said it's pretty accurate to him.
Was Alex here for the Alex 2 phones comment?
Oh, I don't think so.
I hope he was, because that was the funniest part of the story, but it's not going to be funny to you guys because you don't know him as well as I do.
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, do you have an Alex story?
Well, I just remember the first time I met Alex, and you were like trying to find his number, and I was like, why can't he's your best friend? Why don't you have his number? And you're like, well, he always has a new phone. I was like, what do you mean? And then we met him, and he like pulled out a BlackBerry and an iPhone and was just like, hold on, wait a minute, it's on my other phone. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I was like, well, maybe he's just one of those people that has multiple, like 2 phones all the time, like a work phone and a personal phone. That's fine. And the next time we saw him, it was like 4 phones. They were all different. And I was like, what is happening?
To prove that part of the story is correct, I had to I message him on Facebook when I need him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what number to text. But look, Alex is watching right now, the person I'm talking about, and he just texted me. We don't have these queued up on the computer, but here's some pictures from said wedding.
Oh.
So there's me, large man me, and this guy that's holding me is actually a really large dude. And you'd look at him and think, man, he's big, and then here I come. Here's the lineup. Of course, every time I'm in a group photo, just simply because I'm there, the whole singular bars, tallest to shortest thing gets put together because, you know, who else are you going to find that's a foot taller than everyone else? That's awesome. Thanks for sending these, Alex. I wish these showed off the suit better, but like, look at that. That's as tight as that suit jacket will go. Like, it won't come together anymore. Then 2 of my oldest best friends, Alex and Elise.
I can't see your phone, so I'm a little delayed on the screen. So I just saw the phone. Was Alex like holding?
That wasn't Alex. That was another dude. It was a long story. But we were doing photos, and, you know, we got a little silly. But I don't know. Does anyone watching have to wear a suit to work? Have you ever had to?
I've always thought about that. I mean, when I worked at the bridal shop, I had to wear dresses every day, but I don't feel like that's as miserable as having to wear a suit every day.
So the work that I did before we had this channel was videography. So that's you can kind of see how we got into this. But the videography I did sometimes had some pretty high-end clients, so I've never had to wear a suit on jobs, but I have had them call and say, hey, we're going to a 5-star restaurant, put on or like, either like you either need a tie or a jacket and a dress shirt. You maybe don't have to put the tie on, but like you got like
just at least attempt
above casual, you know what I mean? And I've had those interactions before for sure. But my work attire has always been a pair of basketball shorts and like a tank top t-shirt, because when you do what I do, you got to have camera gear. It's all about the camera gear.
It's very athletic work, honestly.
It is. It very much so is. Read some of those comments off before we get into this Furby Wonderland.
NBC, thank you so much for the $20 dono. Love the channel. Great work. Longtime fan. Awesome. Glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
Also, Kushi, the $4.99. It is 2 a.m. What?
Whoa, where are you that it's 2 a.m.?
2 a.m. here in UK. Love this stream.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you stayed up. Did you stay up for us, or are you just a late person yourself? Also, what's late night TV like in the UK? I mean, I bet I could guess. Is like Graham Norton on at 2 a.m.? I like Graham Norton. I don't know. Is that a terrible example?
It's like the only British show you can think of right now.
No, it's not. I could list 1,000 of them. I love 10 Cats.
Oh, yeah,
Is
the
it
countdown.
The countdown, yeah.
Yes.
What is it, 8 out of 10 cats do countdown? It's got a weird name, but they call it countdown. I've probably seen every episode.
I mean, you know my favorite British show.
What?
The
Do I?
British Baking
Oh, well,
Show.
yeah. That goes without saying.
Oh, it's so good. I've watched every season multiple times, and it's just like... Oh, and then Nadia's
spin-offs?
cooking show that just came out on Netflix. Watched it twice already. Her bakes and Time to Eat, so good.
That's funny.
Highly recommend.
Well, what else do you watch in the UK besides TENDO at 2 a.m.? But I'm so glad my buddy Alex actually watched that. I messaged him like 8 seconds before we hit the go live button. Was like, hey, gonna talk about you tonight live on YouTube. He rolled right up.
He did.
That's funny. Well, I'm pretty excited to get into this Furby today. I've been collecting them really hardcore for what, 2 months now?
Yeah, 3 months?
Something like that. It's not been very long when you consider how many that we have.
I always have to overestimate time because, like, we stay busy, so time flies for us. I'll look at my phone and be like, yeah, that was like 2 days ago. And be like, that was last week. What? So I always have to judge up.
They said that your volume is much lower than mine. It's not so much that it's the volume as it is that I am 6 times louder than she is.
This is true.
I'll try to be quieter, and then you can just turn it up. I promise not to laugh anymore.
Well, in the very beginning of the stream, someone had said that, Dallas, you're screaming. So I was like, oh, maybe my mic's loud too, so it's fine. We're evening out now.
Super Fast Tortoise, great username, by the way, says, why doesn't Tindo wear a blazer filled up with pins all over? I will. I shall. We've actually joked about a couple of different things that we could do, but, like, I have this bad habit. And I've said this before. A lot of people ask what other changes we're going to make to our bread truck that we just bought on this channel, right?
Yes.
And everyone's like, I can't believe you're going to paint it yellow. And my response has been several times, well, I want to paint it yellow. I absolutely want to. But when I paint it yellow and then I put my face on the side and then I put big fenders on it and then I put a turtle shell back door, like at some point it becomes the Tindo machine, right? I have this problem.
How about you just paint it yellow? Like,
I have this problem of what would be the correct pronunciation. De-evolution, devolution, like I will devolve.
Devolve.
So like next time it's going to be a red suit. And then it's going to be a yellow suit. And it's going to be a yellow suit with a duck on it. And then, you know what I mean? And then pretty sure soon by the end, every episode, we have to make a whole new suit out of something, like out of Wii games.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Just to top it up. And then I just become a character on the internet. Not that I already am not.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the $10, Spencer, my man. Love y'all's channel. If y'all ever come to Louisiana, I would love to get the chance to meet y'all. How is the thrifting in Louisiana? I mean, it's funny that that's my response. We get that a lot on this channel. Hey, if you ever come here, I'd love to see you. My only interest in going wherever you are is probably going to be thrifting, or that's going to be the main draw. Well, Louisiana's got some good food that's worth being brought for.
I do love Louisiana. Some like gumbo.
How many times
jambalaya.
How many times have we been there together? Just once?
Just once, yeah.
I've been there 2 or 3 times for work. A lot of my working years, I'd say 50% of every job was in that Atlanta down to Florida over Louisiana part of the United States. I just did tons of work down there. So I've had my share of Louisiana street food. Probably the best food I ever had in Louisiana. I worked at a farmer's market for a job, filming a small thing going on at an event at a farmer's market. And this little old man had these buckets of stuff and just kept my bowl full the whole time. It was so great. The food alone is worth going to Louisiana for. But thank you for that.
Food is like my favorite thing in life. Like I just feel like there's nothing I love more than just eating really good food. And I think that our trip to New Orleans is probably my absolute favorite trip we ever took, because like we just went ham on just getting whatever kind of just crazy food that we wanted. I remember going and getting beignets, and we stood in line for like ever, and we're like, this is fine.
Yeah. What else do we have to do? I will say I was a lot more into photography in my working days. I was hired to do video, but my kind of outlet while I traveled was to take a lot of photos. I took some of the coolest photos of my life just of buildings and the skies behind them while in Louisiana. But let's see. You were still low budget, Tony Stark. Yeah.
I like that comment.
I need to build a giant Iron Man Furby suit. That's funny. Somebody said, have you been to Seattle? We have not thrifted in Seattle on this channel. I've been there. I was much younger than now. I don't have a ton of memories of it. Just remember going with my family. But I will say, when Hannah and I have sat around and said, well, where are we going to go next? What are we going to do next? We've certainly said a couple times, we definitely need to go to the Northwest, not just Seattle, but that whole part of that whole part of the United States. I think maybe a lot of people watching, some of you guys in the UK that aren't brushed up on your United States geography any better than I probably am my UK geography. The United States, I'm not trying to brag how big it is, but there's some parts of it that are so massive it's annoying. So it seems like it's so far away for me to drive home to my hometown in Kentucky, right? 24 hours?
It's a full 24 hours.
It's how many? It's like 28 or 29 to drive to Seattle. And it's like, and all the time my dad will call me and be like, why don't you drive up to Seattle and check that out or something like that? And I'll be like, oh yeah, totally, I'll do that. but then I'll Google wherever he's talking about, and I'll go look at it, and it's further away than home. I'd be like, Dad, I could drive home and back.
Might as well.
But I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Honestly, we do want to go to Seattle, but we're going to come at the right time where the weather would be comfortable enough that we could live in and out of our bread truck when we do it. So,
because like Portland's just a hop, skipping away from Seattle too. So we just like that whole area. We just want to explore.
The clean out crew said 3 times you wear tux: wedding, funeral, and killing Furbies.
Furbies?
Speaking of which, Hannah, you keep reading off a couple comments. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple pieces of this off. I'm honestly worried that there's just going to be a point when taking a Furby apart that there's glue or there's something that's going to be a little harder to get out. But what else we got? Who else is here?
Patrick.
My Patrick?
Our Patrick is here. His only comment was bourbon and Toulouse.
Oh, yeah.
Cajun food.
So some of you guys say hi to Patrick. Some of you might remember him. Some of you OGs. He used to live here with us. He lives in Lexington, and there is a restaurant called Bourbon and Toulouse that is amongst the better Cajun food I've had. It's Cajun food. I don't want to call it fast food because it's not. It is a nice little sit-down restaurant, but they prepare it on like paper plates and to go. Like they make it to go, and it's a great restaurant. I wish we had something like that here. We've tried a couple Cajun restaurants here in town, and it's been real expensive. Plus, you know, a lot of Cajun food has shrimp and other seafoods in it. We're so far away from the ocean. We're landlocked. It's just not a good look here. All right, so
you suggested we were talking about making a custom Furby. Someone suggested turning a Furby into an Iron Man Furby.
Yeah, well, that'd
be cool.
That's another huge part of taking some of these Furbies apart. That I want to do some custom stuff. Customization is kind of my thing, and I've got yellow Furby. You know, like this generation that we're taking apart. Here's a perfectly fine yellow Furby from that generation, right? It's cool, it's fine, but none of them are quite yellow to my liking. So, interestingly, here's the first thing I see that I've been curious about, right? See how the materials underneath the eyeball parts, this is hard. I've got this camera turned around in a funny way. Like, how do you get that out, right? Is it going to be glued down? It's literally part of this material is just screwed in. So I'm literally just going to take this screw out, and some of the material is going to start coming out from underneath the eyeballs. That's so weird. It's such a weird way to construct things.
The Furby skeleton is so scary.
Well, you know what? I think did somebody say that?
No, I'm saying that.
You're already scared? Well, I will say that once upon a time, I mean, we've all, at one time or another, we've all seen what the original Furby skeleton looks like, I would say. I mean, I know I have. But I honestly don't know what the inside of this Furby is going to look like. I really don't. They're made quite a bit different than they were the first time around. But I will say already, it's already kind of what you expect. Listen, the earliest Furbies were, quote unquote, and amongst the earliest interactive animatronic toys you could get. There was other stuff, but they were popular for being interactive with each other as well as you, and being animatronic and having movement, rocking and stuff like that. So that was a really kind of a big deal. And so the insides of them kind of looked like that. The insides of Furby kind of looked like what you would expect with lots of gears and stuff. I will say, as I'm opening up this Furby, it's looking more and more like probably an Elmo or something would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
I might be the only freak here that's taking apart an Elmo, I guess. I don't know.
I just remember the time in our lives where we were collecting puppet parts.
Right.
How many stuffed animals, like you're like, we need to find stuffed animal eyes so we can make puppets out of it.
Totally.
And every time I'd like start searching, I'd pick up the stuffed animal and then its entire face was just cut out. I was like, oh, you've already got this one.
Right. Well,
the amount of Elmos we've severed eyes off of.
I'm finding it very interesting, the deconstruction of it, because I was a little worried, because I want it to be easy to just re-sew, to draw a pattern for the outside of it. I want to be able to just draw a pattern and then go somewhere, cut it out, sew it back together, and just peel it back on. It's not going to be that's going to be too hard. However, the pattern of the outside of the Furby is sewn onto this plastic piece here, and this plastic piece has tabs. It almost feels like milk carton, this white plastic, and those tuck in almost like car door parts, like riveted plastic door panels, like they just kind of tuck in. So that's not really a great sign for what I was hoping. But mind you, this is one of like 5 different generations of Furbies, so we've got a lot more to go. There might be a different generation of Furby that's easier to deal with, and we'll probably just customize those. But this is interesting. I'm going to be interested to see, like, if some of these face plates are swappable. Is anybody having nightmares yet?
I'm really surprised there's like yellow inside.
Really? Well, that's kind of another question. We're not going to sit here and take a bunch of Furbies apart today, but, like, what color's the inside? Well, I imagine the inside color is whatever the faceplate is. So that I guess maybe that kind of makes sense. But it's a little bit terrifying. Now it looks like we've come to a hard part. I don't know how to get these ears off. I bet they pop out in some way. Because I will say with this model of Furby, because we found this one in the bins trashed, missing pieces, looking really bad, stuff like that. And that being the case, we'll take the crappiest Furby from the thrift store and save it. Hopefully one of these days remake it, take some parts from it. We're a Furby sanctuary, is what I'm saying. Also, you know what? Oh, no way. I don't understand this. There's just so much going on here I actually don't understand. I got to find a way to get the ears off, though, because without the ears popping off, there's no way. Oh, I see. These weird little plastic tabs. I'm just going to have to show you better on this camera. There's these little plastic tabs like this all over the place. And they just tuck into the Furby. They just hook in. It's very odd. I bet you somebody's just sitting there waiting for me to beat it with a hammer.
I bet 200 people are tuning in just so we can like smash it with a hammer.
Attack of the Killer Furby. That's what I'm talking about.
D-Dub says he owns a skinless yellow Furby.
Did you take the skin off and put it on your shelf and be like, yes, I am its creator and I call it good?
I guess we own a skinless yellow Furby now.
Oh, they were mocking me.
I guess so.
Okay, there we go. This is not easy.
Well, it's already broken.
Look, he's all over me.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have to lint roll the Furby off of me. Oh. Well, F's in chat for the Furby. No, he's fine.
He's cute now, I guess.
You know, I could get these ears off by cutting them, but how? It looks to me like the ears are actually inserted and then it's hand stitched together. So they're actually on an assembly line. Someone's making the outer skin, leaving big slits for the ears. They're putting it on and then somebody whip stitches it together with a hand and needle.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like that's the only way to really do it.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't see any other way.
There are multiple people who are saying that they are here just to see it smash with a hammer.
I bet a lot of people. The first comment on the video was like, "You're so wasteful. Why are you destroying the Furby?" I was like, "Take a hike, man."
Well, it's not wasteful if it's already broken.
We do science.
We need to learn how to fix them.
Oh, this is kind of crazy. I'm glad this is here. I was a little worried about this. I thought I was going to have to start chopping off wires and stuff. There's actually there's this tiny wire running from the battery up to the top of the Furby. It's probably how some of the stuff up there is powered, and it literally has a baby connector. So that's good. So everything comes apart as it should. I know. Come on now. I want it completely skinless. Can you tell our camera how pink I am?
I don't think so. You just have a general shade of like fuzz.
I've got a nice pink hue.
Oh, what else is a black suit for other than just to get Furby fuzz all over
to absorb your Furby fuzz, exactly. God, these ears are really the biggest problem. I've got everything unplugged and everything disassembled except for the ears.
That's really tough. Because I mean, we don't want to cut the skin because we
right.
want to use it as a pattern. So
yeah,
I hope it doesn't come to that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get it apart.
Someone suggested we drill its eyes out. Whoa.
Well, that's kind of the other part. Listen,
Gold rush.
if you're watching this and you have, I need a lit. This is gonna bug me. I dress up for once in my whole life, and I get attacked by Furbies. If you don't know, there's a huge online community of Furby nonsense. I don't even know what to tell you, okay? Like, there are people that make them into demonic-looking monsters. There are people that just put normal, nice little outfits on them. What else have we seen? We've seen it all. We've seen people that do what's the evil kid, Sid from Toy Story?
Oh, yeah.
They sit him up.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. they'll take like this part here and just give it arms
Oh my god.
and legs and stuff from like Barbies and stuff. It's wild. That's hilarious. Furby stew. We should do some Furby recipes.
Chop up your Furby. Pan fry.
There's other interesting things going on here. I can actually see a pin port for some sort of digital. Like there's some developer device that can plug into there and do some sort of reading or testing on it. That's odd, isn't it?
So I don't know. Run diagnostics on it whenever it starts talking.
I guess so. Well, that's another thing. If you want another good one, YouTube search, do some sort of searching for Furby nightmare stories. I don't know. Like there's just YouTube, both written and YouTube videos. There's tons of stuff. People, heck, the first time I started buying Furbies on this channel, people started commenting really freaking strange stories about their Furbies. Talking apparently.
That would be so awesome, like ghost stories, but it's all Furbies.
Right.
Like my Furby's haunted.
Well, exactly. Well, apparently there must have a lot of the stories I see that are consistent, anyways, that are similar to other stories, are there people knowing that there weren't batteries in them and still hearing it talk.
That's so scary.
And there's got to be. I mean, I guess this is me looking for a rational explanation, but don't you think there's got to be some way in which capacitors or something inside of the Furbies held some sort of residual charge?
I mean, it has to be, right? Like if it's got the juice to be able to say the words, like it's got to come from somewhere.
Satan. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Sometimes I make Satan jokes and people unsubscribe. So you'd be surprised how often I edit a Satan joke into our videos and then right before I export it, I just delete it. I do it for myself.
This is your personal little joke.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it off the ear without breaking it. We're just gonna keep talking while I get at this. All I'm doing is trying to stretch the material out a little bit so it comes off around the ear. Eventually, we'll get this down to where we'll just be like screw, peel, and it's done. We can assembly line it.
Yeah, there's got to be a breaking point. People are suggesting we do Bratstall surgeries and Bratstall Furby hybrids.
Well,
People are really getting into this Sid thing.
we have to do one. I mean, it only makes sense.
I have a few Bratstalls that are just like ripped.
But that one guy's gonna come at and be like, "You're so wasteful."
Oh no.
Like, no, this is science,
If
man.
you want to talk about some weird comments we've gotten.
Hey, weirder the better.
There's, the one guy, he comments on a lot of our YouTube videos saying that he used to date me, but he keeps calling me Anna.
Oh yeah.
He suggested
Is he here?
the bikini show.
That sounds about
fun.
right. There's always those people on YouTube. I'm gonna get this off.
Patrick suggested we give the Furby a duck head.
Hit allow. Patrick, it blocked you.
It did. I had to let your comment through.
Why is it blocking Patrick?
I guess because duck is too close to the other word with an I in it.
Oh, he was trying to say duck you.
Oh no.
That's funny.
Oh, or that one. D instead of F,
If you don't come off this Furby, the power of Christ compels you.
Clean Out Crew definitely thinks that it has to be Satan. There's no other option.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm with him. I mean, I don't believe Satan's real, but if he is, I hope he possesses Furbies. I mean...
Whoa, D-Dub says, do you have the Royal Furby? Do you know what the Royal Furby is?
No. I don't. The only special Furbies I have, I've got 3 in-box ones, white, brown, and the only special Furby I have whatsoever, I mean, they're all special to my heart.
He says wearing a suit holding a ripped up Furby.
Covered in Furby fur.
Covered in Furby fur.
The only special edition Furby I have, I'll show it off. I'm not afraid to flex my Furby. I'm not afraid to flex them.
That's what everyone's here for.
Yeah, that is the Statue of Liberty Furby. If you watch our channel at all, you might have seen me buy it, but there's probably some people watching that don't. F's in chat. What are we effing? Oh, Patrick.
Patrick's just spamming it.
Well, now Patrick can post whatever you want because you auto-allowed him.
Oh no, what have I done? Ooh, okay. Someone suggested that, Clean Out Crew suggested that we should make fur coats out of Furby for my Bratstalls.
Oh, I thought he was going to say for me. But
Oh.
I do like the direction that you're going.
But
How
I
many
mean,
Furbies?
how many
I've got a
Furbies?
lot of surface area. Do you guys want to make bets right now for a future Tindo show? How many Furbies deconstructed would it take to make myself a fur coat?
Oh my god.
Such a great idea.
It's not a good idea.
Well, listen, The whole point of me making this channel from the start is that one of these days I like reselling. I like doing all the stuff, the antique malls that you guys see us do. But let's be real. We all have ultimate goals. My ultimate goal is to buy a very large building somewhere here in Phoenix and hoard it until I die with all this nonsense 100-fold. And in doing so, I'll probably have enough Furbies to do that.
I mean, yeah, eventually. It would be a really cool coat. I'm not gonna, especially this whole like 2012 run that we're tearing apart right now.
Yeah.
Because they've got those wild colors. The original run of Furbies wouldn't be that interesting of a coat because they're all just like pretty neutral colors.
Right.
But like, get some pink with white spots portions and some blue and pink spot portions. That'd be pretty dope. Not gonna lie.
We've made progress.
Someone just auto guessed 487 Furbies
487?
to cover you.
That's honestly, it's probably pretty realistic. I mean, we're talking about what, 5 square inches each? I mean, you'd have to sew the holes together.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to take it all apart and then sew all the pieces together to make it all a flat piece of fabric that I could then cut the coat out of. You know how long that would take?
Oh, it'd take half. You'd take half.
A better guess for everyone. How many days would it take? How many weeks would it take to make it?
Ryan said you maybe should have turned all the other Furbies around on the shelf so there is no retaliation late tonight.
Oh, no.
Hey, if the whole Toy Story mythology is real, we're screwed.
We're definitely dead tonight.
We're either going straight to hell or, I don't know, we're going to be in Furby prison. I've almost got him naked. There's some interesting bits in here, I'm not going to lie.
Stress-free paper chase is suggesting not to bother with the screwdriver, but just slip it in olive oil and it'll just come right off.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, then there's like no hope in saving it ever.
Yeah.
Olive oil will not come out of those circuits.
This is not easy. I really thought this was going to be a few screws and then done. Boy, was I wrong.
So many people are into this Furby jacket now.
We have to. Well, yeah. Well, we have to do it. I mean, obviously.
We're going to have so many skinless Furbies.
Listen. One of these days when we have Trash World, that's the name of my giant warehouse museum type thing that I'm going to hoard up one of these days. Whether or not it'll be open to the public is a whole other question. But in curating this massive world fantasy, Rob Dyrdek fantasy factory kind of thing, I'm going to accumulate a lot of extras of the thing that I collect. So what I'll have to do is one of our pieces of memorabilia will be the same yellow Furby, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll de-skin 1,000 Furbies to make my jacket and reskin all the ones that we take them off with like the same, make it a piece of merch.
That'd be awesome, actually.
It'll happen.
Why are you making this a sound idea? This is too much work.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to Tindo. Listen to Papa Tindo, okay?
Listen to Papa Tindo.
I don't want comments every day for the rest of our lives. When is the Furby jacket happening, okay? It's going to happen, but you got to give me a few years. I got to make a few more mil, 100,000s. I don't know. I ain't got any money. One of these days, I'll get there. I'm working on it. That's why I'm trying to make a, what would you call this, bargain bin talk show.
Well,
where I wear a suit and we work on Furby.
We make so much money. I don't have to do anything but sew Furby
coats. But sew Furby coats, then we'll do it.
Then we'll do it.
I swear to God, tomorrow, first comment on the video, when are we going to do the Furby coat?
Someone's going to be like, can I make a $1 million dono so that you can start your Furby coat?
I'm going to donate $100,000 to your YouTube page, but you have to use it only on Furby.
I mean, that's probably what
that's one way to spend it, bro. I'm almost there, though. Listen, this is the moment. This is the moment. Are you ready? I feel like this should feel better than it does. I feel a little bad about this, but he's almost naked.
Patrick keeps saying, Tendo, show me your pants. Pants is in the other room. He comes out when he wants. Not that pants.
Pants!
Oh,
I can't get this
earlier.
I'm almost there. Are you ready for the big reveal? This is it.
I'm scared. I don't want to look.
It was really difficult.
Are his ears fully intact? Oh!
He's actually still kind of cute, surprisingly.
He is kind of cute.
I don't have any bad first generation Furbies, and those are the ones that need to be saved. These are plastic nonsense junk. They're not really special. They're a dime. I mean, it's okay. They're a dime a dozen. Okay, we're not going to tell him that, but he's trash.
It would be really cute if his eyes didn't like stick out from his head.
Is that what creeps you out?
I think that's it. It's like a chicken head, but like no neck and
if you don't know anything about Furbies, here's an earlier generation of Furby. They had kind of realistic eyes, right? Kind of real looking, you know, glassy, fake pirate eye. I don't know. These eyes light up and things like stars and stuff light across their screens. And it's kind of cool, but honestly, I've never been a huge fan of it. I like these older ones a lot better. But I was saying this to say the insides of those are infinitely more creepy. Feel free to Google it on your own time. Not on my time.
Not on my time.
They don't look like this inside, the older ones, but that's crazy. I need to find a big muscular toy, right? Action figure muscular, like Hulk size, just huge toy that can just be the head on.
No.
And that'll be on our Furby shelf.
No.
Listen, one of these days when we have Trash World,
You're just gonna have a whole shelf of
well, no, there'll be a Furby room. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Right now, this is our space. There's about 4 more shelves off camera that you can't see, and they're full of video games and other toys, right? Like here's a whole Pokemon shelf you can't see, and I think you can see the Power Rangers shelf maybe. No, you can't see it either. But there's a couple more shelves. But one of these days, when we have Trash World and not just Trash Living Room, I can have a whole room of Furby, and then there can just be one entire bookshelf dedicated to weird hybrid Furbies. You don't approve? You don't think that sounds awesome?
I mean, I'm just imagining in what world, like,
You're giving me that same disapproving look your mother gives me.
Are you calling me my mother?
Well, you give me that look. I don't know about this one.
I'm just like, I'm imagining you in a workshop with, like, broken toys.
Just
and this
1,000 of these
Furby,
laying around.
And you're just like putting arms on it, and then like, no, not this set, maybe this set.
So what you're
and
saying
then
is,
all of a sudden it turns into like a Furby Zord.
So what you're telling me is you imagine me happy and you don't like it. You don't want it happy. Furby Megazord. They said that the same time you did. Replace the head of the Megazord behind you with a Furby. Oh, that's why they're saying Megazord.
There we go.
Well, now I have to put my top hat back on. So I have 2 Megazords here. And I mentioned one on the channel like yesterday. I can't remember what video it was. Here's what the Megazord looks like. Right? Here's the special edition red one that's actually quite valuable and a bit rare. So I keep this one, and I'm going to end up reselling that one. But you're right. It's the right size.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm not about to break this right now, am I?
Oh.
It requires disassembly to take it apart in a way where I can't break it. But whoever commented that, you win all the monies. Because that is behold my bestest and greatest creation.
Oh no.
It's perfect, isn't it? But then we can look, what we can do is we can peel all the stickers off and use them as templates to cut out weird patches of Furby fur to replace the stickers with. Don't you like how we workshop this together? YouTube chat just created my bestest creation. Oh, no. I'm going to do that. Next one of these I find, somebody remind me in the comments sometime next week in the video when I find another one of these, that I got to bring it home just for Furby creations.
Amy said that next Sunday's mail time is going to be full of Furby skins. Someone's going to start sending us just skins.
Yeah, people are going to be like, well, I'll help.
They're like, well, it's too expensive to ship a full Furby. Why don't we just ship the skin?
Oh my gosh.
It'd be totally fine.
This is incredible. I can't believe we did this. I got to give you guys a close-up, though, of the fuzz on my jacket. Can you see that? That's not...
So much.
Normally, sometimes I leave the house looking like that because of my cats, but today it was Furby. Do we even have a lint roller?
Yes, we do. It's in the bedroom, though.
You know where it's at. Go grab it, and I'll lint roll myself on camera. That'll be some great content.
We only have one left, and it's very empty.
And it's mine. Well, you guys rock. I appreciate you hanging out while we do this. I don't know if I said this at the top of the show, but we started doing live shows like this as soon as we started the channel. My buddy Patrick, who you've seen comment a bunch in chat today, him and I did some live shows. So if you go back real early on our channel, you'll find some videos of him and I doing this kind of thing. Of course, in a perfect little world, we'd love to do this and have guests, some other friend YouTubers that you've seen us have on this channel, and interview them and do stuff with them. So hopefully we can get around to that sometime soon. Of course, COVID is... You want to do me?
Wow, that's extremely effective.
That was really great. I feel like a brand new man.
Your stomach is very round, so it's just like...
I didn't eat Furbies, if that's what you're insinuating.
No. We did have 20 chicken nuggets, though.
16. You ate 4.
That's true.
I counted.
I had 4.
What was I saying? Yeah. So, but I'm telling you this to say we plan on we always planned on doing this weekly, live interactions like this, doing goofy stuff on the fly. Just because of both of our backgrounds, theater, performance arts, stuff like that. It's what we like to do. It's what we're comfortable doing. I feel more comfortable doing this than I do talking to a camera, walking down the road with no one watching. It's an odd thing. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I mean, if you've ever wanted to be a YouTuber or do anything like we do, usually the first time you pick up a camera, you'll go, this is madness. It really is. So all that being said, make sure you guys just keep in mind that moving forward on Sunday nights, if you ever want something to do, if you ever need somewhere to be, we'll definitely be doing this some more. That being said, also feel free to make comments here or perhaps over on our Discord to let us know some types of videos you might like to see in the future. I'm sure now everyone's just going to comment, Furby jacket, Furby jacket.
Yeah, that apparently has to happen now.
But we've got lots of cool plans and stuff to do for live shows. No shortage of ideas, really, but a lot of ideas that we want to do require lots of materials. You know what I'm saying? I just rubbed it all over my jacket. I'm so dumb. Do you ever have moments where you do something and you go, I'm literally stupid. I'm unwell. I have serious. It was like a phantom wipe. It was just like my brain was just like, wipe it on yourself.
Why?
Don't you want to know what it feels like? Come here.
I guess. Don't put it all over my face.
Oh, wow. This is weird.
Oh, no. Is it weirder without the face?
Oh, what do we have? Hold on a second. I know exactly what to do. Chill out.
Oh, no.
Wait. Hold on a second.
Oh, no.
What do I do? I can't reach. No, you're too big. I'm going to find it. Hold on. I've got this, okay? Are you ready? Can you see what I'm doing?
No, I'm not looking. I'm reading comments.
Hold on. This is not going to be as easy as I thought, but I'm going to make this happen. It's okay. I'm not doing anything bad over here, okay?
You're just off screen enough that people are like, why? Why is he there?
I can't find the right thing. Oh, I got it.
And someone said that you're just becoming Furby man now. Like, you're putting on your costume. Oh.
I've got this. This is going to work out better than I thought it was.
Someone said that I should be a Furby for Halloween for 2021.
You think you should or me should?
That I should. I think you would make a great Furby, though. You got the round belly, like
right.
Furby.
My next guest is going to be up for sale tonight on TendoTrash.com for $200. Furby Char.
Furby Char.
I'm just kidding. I don't want your money, just your praise. It didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. I thought I was going to be able to put both of his arms through the ear holes.
Oh no!
But I walked over there going, Pikachu, Furby.
Oh my god!
Surely there's something around here that'll work.
Because like the Pikachu ear is coming out. Oh!
That could be a neat little puppet. Just put like a mouth on it and then two googly eyes.
I'm a little scared.
It's a little wild.
Sal, thank you so much for the dono. You guys rock. Excited for more live. Stay humble and kind. We shall.
Oh man. I do like that you guys figured out instantly that the Megazord was the perfect size for this.
That's great.
Matter of fact, just so I can remind myself of it.
Just sit it there now.
Yeah, I think that Furby's just going to live there. Somebody's going to walk in the house to visit next week and just be like, oh my God! As soon as they walk in the door, that's going to be the first thing they see.
No, it's going to be on your chest tonight staring at you.
Oh, I'm going to wake up with it. But I'm going to think it's our cat, and then I'm going to wake up.
You're going to wake up, start petting it, and realize it has no fur, and you're like, oh!
Well, the funny part is, listen, I don't have the utmost electronics expertise. I can usually figure out the numbers of things. I have a pretty good understanding of the theory, but oftentimes my application is not well because I'm not good at soldering. I'm not good at high fidelity work because I got big lumberjack hands. But I can do well enough to wire up LED lights and stuff, and like I get excited about that because like I can pull out it's got front lenses on its eyeballs. I can pull out the back caps and put some bright LED lights in there and just make it look crazy.
It could be really cool.
We can do some cool. Well, this is the thing. Listen, we got to workshop this. If we take this jacket and make this jacket a pattern to make a Furby coat out of, like, does it need to have a face somewhere? Is like the pocket gonna have a Furby face?
Oh, I think that's too scary.
Well, if it's just a bunch of swaths. Hold on.
How can we make it so the Furby eyes can be buttons?
Well, just put Furby eyes in the place of the buttons.
Can we remove the Furby eye enough to make it look like a clean circle, or?
This generation, no. The original one, yes, because the eyes probably come out in a half moon way, right? Like that's probably just a hemisphere. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That would look so scary though.
Thousand Eyes jacket.
So scary.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we're going to open up the floor as we will plan to for the rest of these live shows. Hopefully, I think the plan for now is a little bit of end of show Q&A kind of thing. So let's just chat for a little bit, ask us some questions you might have had for a little while, and we'll wrap up after that because we have no more Furby to take apart. This is, oh, I didn't think about this though. While you guys come up with some questions before and after. That's what we're working with. I'll come a little closer so it's not so bright. My light source is right here. Before and after. It's kind of sad. I kind of hope Abigail, who sent me this, isn't watching. She shouldn't be. It's past her bedtime. I didn't take yours apart, Abigail. You sent me one that I had a trash version of, so I took mine apart. Something tells me I'm going to find plenty of uses for this thing, though.
Your little fingers through its face.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. It's going to be a perfect little puppet. You could just sew a little bit of material, right? Put a sock puppet in it. That's great.
Somebody wants to put the Furby skin on the Megazord's head. Does it work?
Oh, you know what? I think the ear holes aren't going to be big enough, but I'll certainly try it.
It might poke through a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, the ears on this are going to be too big for it, but it would be hilarious. I'm a member of a couple different. No, the hole's not even big enough for it to go on. But I was going to say, I'm a member of a couple Power Ranger user group. It's the best I got.
It's like a hat.
That's awful.
That's hilarious.
That's nightmare fuel. Is really what that is. So let me put Charmander back. Charmander, who is now covered head to toe with Furby fur.
He's slightly pink.
I did not expect Furby fur to be such a problem. That's crazy. Oh man, yeah. I should just. I almost feel like now I should start keeping a Furby in my pocket when we go to the bins, just to like look at materials that we find there up next to it and go, is this going to be a good Furby skin?
Scammers Anonymous suggested that you should take the Furby skin with you and talk to people at the bins through it and just be a
Therapy
crazy
Furby.
person.
Yeah. Just there's already enough crazy people.
Oh, that's true.
Listen, there's enough local people here in town that watch us that I'm not going to start blasting people I have to shop beside every day, but there's some crazy people there. We've had some pretty crazy recent encounters. Therapy Furby, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should just make a sock puppet out of one of them, carry it around, and when we're at the thrift stores and we get into an argument, I'll pull out Therapy Puppet. Hoping to see you in OKC soon. Would love to show you my toy booth. It's doing well. Thanks for all the knowledge. Yes, I need it. When we get back on the road regular, kind of a little bit more down the road when COVID's more out of the way, I definitely want to come interview a bunch of you guys about your antique malls and show some more of those off. That's a huge, like we've only got one on this channel, two if you consider ours to be one, but I'd love to have a whole playlist on our channel, just showing off other people's toy booths, because that's kind of something special we do. I'm not saying there's no one else on YouTube. I'm sure you guys watch plenty of people that do antique mall stuff, but antique malls have kind of become a huge part of our thing, you know what I mean?
I feel like it's so helpful to see what other people do, because like everybody, like even just between you and I, we both have different ideas about how to move forward with something. So it's like seeing other people's ideas of how to like merchandise, how to price things, how to what they find that sells really well for them. It's just so different in every area. It's just really interesting to see.
Yeah, and Superfast Tortoise asks, do you think that thrift shopping for a costume through the bins with the help of Hannah Sewing, that you could put together a Willy Wonka suit? I mean, we certainly could, but I don't know that Willy Wonka is specifically something I would want to cosplay. I get where you draw that line from, because I'm Willy Wonka with the toys instead of candy.
Yeah.
But
we already got the top hat, so.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures queued up, but there's definitely, I'll have to make some videos in the future where we do something costume related. We've made a lot of costumes. When the episode 7 came out, we made me a Jedi costume.
Yes.
And went to the movies. I've made a couple Batman costumes in my life. Batman's always a fun one for me to dress up in, because if I put a few inches of platforms under my feet, under my boots, I'm 7 foot tall.
You're massive.
And it's really, people, when you see a man in a Batman costume my size, you're like, that's Batman. That's awesome. Patrick said, "Come interview me." Then I'll just accidentally delete the footage.
Oops.
Beware
That's
the
happened.
Yeah, beware the skinless Furby could come for you soon. Yeah, it would. I'm probably gonna see them in my sleep now.
Rainbow Buzz Lightyear project.
Well, so the Buzz project is similar to this kind of Furby thing, like the idea of taking some Furby apart and rebuilding custom Furbies. I want to do that with Buzz Lightyears too. However, in 2 years of thrifting now, we found two not regular Buzzes. So I did remark recently that I was just going to have to start painting my own Buzz because they're not showing up fast enough. They're just too rare. But that's, again, trash world dreams. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Trash world dreams is what that is. Thanks for the $1.99, Captain. I super appreciate that. That'll be a sausage and biscuit on you. That's hilarious.
Sausage and biscuits right now are 2 for $1, or like 2 for $2. So
that's not bad.
You get 2 of them for $1.
They're usually, most parts of the country, they're always $1. You know, but sometimes they're not. You know what's really bugging me right now?
What's bugging you?
I can't put my hands and my goodies in my pockets.
Oh, because they said the pockets.
Can you help a brother out?
I remember the first time I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I can do this right.
Don't stab me. No. Don't stab me.
No
Don't stab
movements.
me. She's got an X-Acto knife, folks.
The first
Pay the ransom! Pay the ransom!
The first time I picked up a pair of women's jeans, and I'm like, why is this happening? And they're like, oh, it's in case you don't want to use the pocket. I'm like, who in their right mind doesn't want to use the pocket? I don't understand.
Why would you give me a pocket? It's not right. Like it's like pocket. It's like Elon Musk in the paywall. The features are in the car. You just have to pay more to use them.
It's so frustrating, especially because, like, let's be serious, women's fashion lacks pockets in general.
We need to do an experiment real quick. What size Furby pocket is this? All right, so McDonald's Furby.
I feel like you could fit maybe like 3 of them.
Okay, well you can definitely fit 1. Baby Furby, of which I have 3.
I feel like that's going to be its max.
The base is too wide.
Upside down though.
Hey! So we know for sure Big Furby's not gonna. Actually, now I'm not gonna be able to get it out.
Oh no!
Oh, no, I'm serious. It's not gonna be easy. That's great.
Birthing him.
That's my newest baby Furby, purple and green Hulk baby.
Lord.
That's awesome. Well, you can fit a baby-sized pocket in my suit coat. A baby-sized Furby in my suit coat pocket. That's not easy to say. I can't speak. That's how you know it's time to end the show. Phone a friend when you're done murdering. All right, I'll holler at you. Random question. Y'all see a whole retro video games at once when you go to Goodwill? I've got 3,000 video games here. I mean, what's your definition of retro? 20 years?
Yeah.
20 years is vintage for clothing is usually the generally agreed upon. But, you know, with gaming, it's usually just like, you know.
Like maybe 3 systems back is retro?
Well, not even, I mean, 4, yeah, but like even then, like for me, if you say retro, I think
NES,
SNES, yeah. I mean, I don't find a lot of retro stuff at the Goodwills. I mean, like I consider GameCube retro, and I'm up to 70 games in 2 years of thrifting every single day. It's enough. I'm not complaining, but it's not a ton. Do you think in the next few years you will be able to own your own antique vintage shop? Now that's a good question. I certainly think that in a few years, with the way we have plans for growing what we have now, we certainly would have the ability to. And we go back and forth on this all the time. An antique shop, a store, a location that we have to man is not something either of us at this point, especially given our desire to travel and stuff, we think we want. But who knows at what time we have a kid and say, all right, let's slow down, if that may or may not become a thing. I think a little bit bigger than maybe I should. I personally want a space that's a YouTube factory where we do bigger shows than this, a bigger platform, better cameras, and tons of wall space for more junk to make videos about. And if that place happened to one day also have a storefront, I think that would be ideal for me. I don't know that I want to have an antique mall.
Because like our goals for our future careers is more making really fun YouTube videos, not necessarily selling more things.
Right. Listen, we like resale. We're so appreciative of how resale has made this kind of lifestyle possible for us. I'm not at all hating on resale. And I doubt there ever comes a time where we don't resell something.
Right.
But right now, yeah, I don't think our path forward is just to have a shop where we just sell stuff. I don't think we'll ever have a space where that's our only focus.
Right.
I don't know if that answers your question specifically, but I feel like it does. That's how I feel about it. Will you do conventions in the future? Yes. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he's still here. He'll know who I'm talking about. There was someone here earlier that was talking to me about attending one way up in the Northeast here in the United States, but it got pushed back because of COVID, like everything else. One of these days when things are back to normal, for sure. I will say one of the first things that gave this channel momentum and pushed it forward was when we went to the Game On Expo here in Phoenix, and it was always like, it was going to be like my homecoming, I thought, whenever we got to go for the second year. Our channel was going to be a year old almost at the exact same time. We were going to go to the Game On Expo, and I had like some really clickbait, super awesome videos planned. I was going to spend $1,000 on $1,000 games. I was going to do some real cool stuff and try to really use that expo to make this channel even bigger.
Right.
But of course, COVID kicked that in the nuts. Let's see.
In the PP, as you said earlier.
Right in the PP. That was a good question. Thanks. A lot of people were wondering that, I'm sure. I just started watching Why Are You in a Suit? You're going to have to rewind, brother man. It was all for the Furbies. Are you coming back to Tucson anytime soon? Do you ever find, wow, what a timely question. Yes, very soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Very, very soon. I've been, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to go into a next question. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just going to say with Tucson, I've been saving up a bunch of store credit at Bookman's here in town to use Bookman's in Tucson. Not exactly sure when, but like this week, next week.
Someone asked a very important question. It's now buried, so I don't know who said it. But we had this conversation already. Is your tie pink or salmon was the question.
Well,
it's neither.
It's neither. It's red and white crisscross.
And I was saying in the car, I'm like, ooh, I like that one because it's like, it's white and red checks so small that it looks pink, and I like that.
Well, this will be a better way to show it off. Let me find the camera. See it? It's what do you call that? Crisscross hatch? It's striped, is what my grandmother would call it. It's striped. All right, what else we got? More questions before we get out of here.
Latino Lantern, thank you so much for the
Latino Lantern? Is that a Green Lantern thing? I had my Black Lantern ring on and I dropped it right in the middle of my suit too small story, and now it's just gone. I'll get a different one.
Oh well.
We'll go full Green Lantern.
He says you braille read video game covers when thrifting. You have to miss games. Great show.
I do touch them. I guess that's what they mean. I do touch every one of them. I was like, I have to. It's like when you learn to read as a kid.
I have like focus.
If I can't linearly look at them.
Herrera, thank you for the $3.
Appreciate that.
Older Gaming, thank you for the $1.
You guys rock. It's all breakfast money. I don't know why today that's what I went with, but we're using it all for McDonald's sausage and biscuits. Any more questions?
Pixel Game Squad said this was more fancy than I was prepared for.
My man, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. You dropped by, find my big ass in a suit. That's just how we go. That's how we do it. The problem is now, I told Hannah I'd love to like have a 10 suit rotation for this weekly show we want to do, and it was miserable finding this one. So it's probably going to be one suit, and I'm going to rotate the ties and the pins. I got my Turbo Man pin on today, and I do have enough pins to rotate for all of eternity.
This is true. You have a lot of pins.
Yeah.
A lot of good pins at that.
Yeah, no joke. I'm very lucky to have gotten them the way that I did. Oh, man.
Arnold David said, do you collect Pokemon action figures?
Do I collect Pokemon action figures? How good of a shot can I get of my Pokemon shelf? My Pokemon shelf is my favorite shelf, and it's right here off camera.
I know.
Action figures, I guess, no. The only figures over here on my shelf are plush. I collect, like 6-inch plush. I don't collect any bigger, except for my Charizard, which we got in that huge plush haul the other day.
Yeah.
And then all the other figures are pretty much Burger King toys and other random knick-knacky. I've got to do something about this light source. I can't show anything close to this camera, but Burger King toys. That's most of it. What do you mean, though, by action figures? Do you mean like properly the nice stuff? Like the really, really nice stuff? I like Pokemon memorabilia. So I've got Pokemon Pez over there and stuff like that. Pretty much just stuff I had when I was a childhood. When I collect things, here's probably a way too specific answer for your question. When I collect things, it's either in an obsessive category that I can let myself go, like Furby, right? Or it's in a category where I try to limit it to a shelf or a bookcase. And my Pokemon right now, well, this is kind of a lie because I limit my figures, stuffed animals, my Pokedexes, Pokeball stuff. It's all on a half of a shelf, half of a bookcase. But I do have enough Pokemon cards to fill 3 of these bookcases. So however you want to look at it. That's a good question though. I am just a little bit curious about what you mean though. What kind of Pokemon stuff do you collect?
TC's Adventures said, what's the most you've ever spent on a video game?
On a single video game?
On a single game.
This will actually probably have a really funny answer because the most dollar amount I've ever spent of our cash money on a game, probably not $1 more than $20. Would you agree? Can you remember a time?
I feel like there's been a few $30. Well, actually, new Switch games or something like that.
Oh, that's $60. Yeah, no, a brand new game. That's a way better answer.
Yeah.
The most we've ever spent our cash money on a video game would be a brand new $60 Switch game from Walmart or something.
Yeah.
However, we have probably spent 20 to 50, about the same amount. Maybe I've spent $60 on a bunch of junk that's left over from the Goodwill. We've traded it in for multi-$100 games.
Right, and spent like actual store credit, which...
Yeah, same, not saying, I mean, there's still a monetary value for our trading credit. But, someone asked earlier about our retro games and, finding retro games at the Goodwills. A lot of this retro stuff, especially my Sega collection, is all trading credit at my game store.
Yeah.
But,
so how much do you think that we've spent on a single game in store credit then? Have we spent any like $100 games?
Honestly, a lot of them are still just $50, $60. Because they're not, I don't get, actually, I've tried to several times to buy, Fire Emblem or something for GameCube, but that doesn't show up a ton at our game store. So it's always like the $50, $60 Marvel X-Men games. So yeah, which is, I think is interesting to point out. A lot of people like to brag about how, a lot of reseller collectors get to explain this really cool thing, how their whole collection is free.
Yeah.
Because they resold the stuff to buy the stuff they wanted or whatever, and that's great. It's great to have your bottom line be zero at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've never kept track of this that way. In my head, it's more I spent $100 to trade it for $1,000 worth of credit and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more about multiplication than it is zeroing out.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with the other. I'm just too impatient. I'm not impatient. I'm too impatient for that. People are way better than me at reselling part of this and that. We don't resell a lot of video games, and we don't buy a lot of video games in the traditional way. So,
and I think we've been really fortunate too that we have multiple $100 games, but we've been able to thrift them for just a couple bucks. And it's been pretty incredible.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, looking at my game app, I have 5 games that are over $100, and that's not much. I mean, honestly, if you think about the fact there's 300 video games here, a lot of people with collections this large are going to have 20, 30, $100 to $200 games. But my most expensive game is Streets of Rage 3, which is valued at $242, which is a little inaccurate because mine doesn't have its manual, but it does work. I played it the other day. I found that for $1 on Dollar Day at a Goodwill in Apache Junction here in town, which means that it sat in a Goodwill for a month and no one bought it.
How?
And I got there a month later on Dollar Day and bought it for $1.
So crazy.
It's absurd.
I mean, Apache Junction isn't a hugely populated area, but like people still go to the Goodwills in Apache Junction. Like, I just can't fathom how it sat there that long.
Yeah, and another one that's on the $100 list. We had a video. This has been 2 months ago now. Here's what happens a lot on this channel. You wouldn't believe how often this happens. I go to the Goodwill. I buy a game. Most of the time I buy a game, I get home, I scan it. Because I buy anything I don't have. And if I do have something and I see it again, I'm usually pretty well aware of the value. I retain that kind of information well enough to know.
Right.
But sometimes there's 5 games at a Goodwill. I know I don't have them. I grab them. I take them home. And I scan them. Holy crap, they're worth a lot of money. But sometimes, unfortunately, making videos the way we do on a daily basis, you guys have to realize we have not missed a day shooting videos on this channel in 600, what did I say the other day, 625 days?
Something like that, yeah.
625, something like that. We haven't missed a single day of posting videos every day in a row. That being said, what will happen, I get myself in trouble so often this way. I found a game, let me look for it here. Yeah, I bought Def Jam Fight of New York at the Goodwill bins. No idea what it was worth. Completely clueless. We shoot the whole video. We're done. I get home. I edit. I upload it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. The video goes live at 3 o'clock our time. And it's time to go to bed. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. But I go, well, I like to, my little bedtime ritual is to come out here and scan my games into my video game app and put them on the wall.
Right.
So I do that before bed. And I get to that game last. And it's worth $110. Now, this is more torturous than you know. That should be happy, right? I should be like, I got a $110 game.
Woo!
However, I have a gaming channel, a collecting channel, and you wanna have clout. You wanna clickbait the title. I found a $100 video game.
Can you guess which one it is?
Can you guess what $100 video game I found at the thrift store? And so I have this choice, and this happens a lot. I have this choice to go to sleep or to be the clout chaser. And I very often choose sleep. So then the next day, and this happens so often, the next day, all I got to do is read comments about,
That's a $100 game.
Days like that, I will get 40 Instagram messages, 100 YouTube comments, and about 20 messages on a Discord telling me something's value that I pass up.
Hey, always comment.
I'm not.
Get the better.
That's not a complaint. It's just like, this is how hilarious my life is.
Yeah.
Because I didn't own any video games probably 2 years ago, except for half a little shelf.
Can you name off? We had 5 of them.
Before we started this channel, we had 5 video games.
I think it was just 5.
2 copies of Grand Theft Auto 4. That's all I remember.
Wasn't it?
It was 5.
Yeah.
And then we probably had like
Little Big Planet
of course.
PS3.
Right, and we never could play it because the PS3 that we bought at the thrift store when we first moved to Phoenix was on fire. I don't know what the other 2 were. We probably had like Pirates of the Caribbean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because I was super into that.
I really liked that game
and like
at the
Arkham
time.
Knight.
It might have been Arkham Knight. I think it was. Was it a Sims PC game?
Maybe.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
what it was.
But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question either. I don't even remember what the question was. A couple more before we get out of here.
Bloody Bones asked, are you guys going to do more work on the bread truck now that you have the $1,000 plush unloaded?
Yes. So it's difficult. This happened with our van. You remember how we made a bunch of videos 6 months ago building out our old van, and then we kind of just stopped. Well, it gets hot here, so that sucks. It's not going to be fun to work in while it's hot. So there's the whole summer to think of. Plus, I already am tempted to take the bed out right now simply because I'm more concerned with the next 3 or 4 months worth of getting huge bins to bring home, like that plush haul. So there's part of me that just wants to say no more work on it until after summer, but I don't think that's realistic because there's a good chance that before summer's over, we have the opportunity to take it and go up north where maybe it's cool enough to stay in. So the shortest answer is I don't know. We're definitely not in a hurry. I do think I want to get the floor done in it and finish the plumbing before it gets too hot. We'll probably at least do that, and then we'll probably hold off on the rest.
I feel like we're kind of waiting for the right deal with flooring.
Yeah.
For our next step.
We go to Home Depot every day just to look at stuff, and we just need to get flooring. That's going to be the next step. What else we got?
Hannah needs a Bratz car. Like IRL or just like a car for my Bratz?
We are trying to buy a more sensible car for driving around town. We might have to make it the Bratzmobile. I'm into that. Or, we're not going to tell you the car we're getting. We've said it on the channel before.
But I just thought of the car that we're getting, and then making it into a Bratzmobile, it would be amazing.
No, it has to be a Furby car.
Oh my.
Not because I want it to, because it has to be. It has to be. I knew you were going to agree as soon as I said it. Matter of fact, I actually thought we were just on the same wavelength when you were about to say it.
I wish I was. That would have been so much better. I've scrolled through. You guys are commenting so fast.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here for this, and I hope you'll come back next week. There's always a honeymoon phase with these things. We probably peaked at like 250 viewers today. Which means if we can just hit that again next week, I'll be happy. Because this kind of live setting kind of thing is definitely something I want to do more of. I don't know what we're going to destroy next week, but definitely hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and you can definitely find out next week what we do. Is there any more pertinent questions before we get out of here?
How many square foot are in our bed truck?
How many square foot? It's not a lot, so let's see. I guess it's 12 foot of cabin space by, what was the width, 70 inches? It's not a ton. You'd have to do the math. It's not something that's going to be expensive at all. It's just a matter of getting to it. And actually, this is another frustrating thing. I did a bunch of patching. It had a little bit of a leak here and there when we got it in different places, especially over the wheel wells. And I did a great job, I thought, patching it. It rained here the last few days.
It rained hard.
And it was a little wet on the wheel well again. I got to find the hole in that.
Sal asked how our tape dispensers are working that he sent in mail time. I love our tape dispensers, Sal.
Yes.
They're amazing. I threw my old one away because I realized what a good tape dispenser is now.
That is true.
This is awful.
Yeah, what she's talking about is old Sal sent us some custom tape dispensers, which who knew you could get custom tape dispensers? That's pretty awesome.
You have an update on the Tendo puppet at all? A lot of people have asked about the Tendo puppet.
Oh, well, if you're asking for a Tindo puppet update, you must not have watched the beginning of this video. So when we end this video, you may be able to scroll back to the beginning. There's some Tindo puppet stuff there. If not, wait an hour or wait till tomorrow and come back, and you'll be able to rewatch this video. Tindo puppet right up front. Azu, did we talk to Azu? Happy Pi Day. Curious. Will you revive the $30 3-game challenge again with friends and online? That's a good question. Certainly something I want to do. If we did, though, I would imagine it might end up on our other channel, Rubber Duck Yellow. So maybe go subscribe to that. It's not that we don't do gaming stuff on this channel, but it doesn't always fit the other stuff we're doing. And plus, you know, I'm not saying we don't have friends. We certainly do. There's plenty of people you see show up on this channel. But I will say the hardest part of having this channel is often getting other people involved, because all our friends are adults with real jobs. And we often sound a bit insensitive asking them to do such fun things. But yes, we'd love to, but at the moment, you know, it's a matter of time and others' participation. Because Hannah and I can only do that with each other so many times. Yeah. When is your next thrifting road trip? It was going to be to the Northeast United States, several states around there in the middle of the year, but that's pushed back. So I would imagine in the next few months we'll just go to Vegas again and some surrounding areas, just to go do something.
Do some fun stuff.
Listen, though, I share this kind of thing often, talking about our jeans reselling and all the stuff that we do. Majority of our income is clothes reselling. YouTube is an ever-increasing part of that. As our channel grows, we make more money. I think that's not a brag. That's just common sense. That's how this YouTube thing works. There's going to be a day, I think, if we keep doing as well as we're currently doing, fingers crossed, that our channel will be bigger enough that the YouTube money alone will afford us to do kind of whatever we want. And what we want to do is travel. So
bigger and better things.
And bigger and better travel, more specifically. So one of these days you're going to ask that, and we're going to be like, well, we're just leaving and not coming back for 6 months.
We're going to Japan for 3 months.
We're going everywhere. Wouldn't it be great if we went to Japan and made some videos?
That'd be so cool.
Well, it'd just be good me walking around there 3 foot taller than everyone. Forget the video games that we could come home with.
It'd be insane. Everybody would just be like, who is this large American?
Funny. That's funny.
I've had multiple people tonight ask if they missed the wedding that you officiated.
I do look like I officiated a wedding. Well, I didn't when I was covered in death Furby hair.
You married 2 Furbies. That's what it was.
That's what it was. I married a Furby to the underworld. So it wasn't a wedding officiation. It was a ceremony of death and destruction. So someone just asked, Dina just asked if we will do a game room update, because we've gotten so much new stuff since January's update.
Yeah.
God, wouldn't it be maddening if we had to do one every month just to update what we got? No, we're definitely going to keep doing them once a year. Hopefully one of these days we'll have this really cool playlist of 10 years worth of game room tours, and you just see it explode year by year. I kind of like it at that pace at the moment.
It's fun too during the live shows that we're doing now. You're going to see it evolve, so you'll get to see updates if you tune in every week.
Right. All right, let's do just like 2 more questions and we're going to get out of here. Looking very dapper, guys. Thank you very much. Look at me trying as hard as I can to look nice. Hannah over there in her $2 sweater, just outdoing me 100 times. How country?
Do you remember when I got this sweater? I love this sweater.
Did you find it at the bins?
I did, and I bought it. It was one of my it might have been the very first piece I bought to resell, which tells you how well it resold. But I picked it up, and I was like, I just love this thing, and I've kept it because it just, it's memories. This is where we started, and this is actually the first time I've ever worn it, and I love it. I'm going to wear it more.
Old Ruru said, I would like to go to Japan. It's on my bucket list. I would like to start making, that's another thing. I've got bigger dreams than I certainly have money to do, but I would love to go to Japan once a year just for game hall purposes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I would certainly love to do that. All right, let's...
I've only been to England overseas. I'd love to just be in Asia for once. That'd be really cool.
That's true. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate all of you today. That was the most comments we've ever got in one sitting, and it was a little bit difficult to get through all of them. So if you asked something we missed, there will be a regular comments section on this video whenever this video is over. So make sure to drop those comments below, or come back next week because we plan on doing this from now on Sundays, and we may not do Q&A sessions like this every video because we kind of want to keep these to an hour and a half, because this is essentially a podcast. So it'll kind of be, we want these things to be consumable for people when they're working out and doing things of this nature. So there won't always be Q&As, but there will be plenty of time for that kind of thing. Or if you're just dying to know something that we didn't get to on this video, you've got to know now. The best chance of hearing from us, communicating with us, will certainly be on our public Discord. So there's going to be a link in this video's description where you can go click that and join it. And we chat on there all the time. I drop in there 5 or 6 times a day, chat with people, welcome new people that have joined, and usually it's a pretty good time. Also, this almost might be a bit premature to announce because there's nothing on it, but since we're going to be doing this weekly show, there's a whole separate channel where there will just be tiny clips from these videos put onto that channel for small consumable stuff. And it's just called Tendo Clips. So if any of you feel like it, go type Tendo Clips into your search bar and go sub to that channel. It's going to look just like this channel. Just it's like a blue icon instead of this yellow one that you're used to. And if next week you don't catch the show and you're like, man, I don't have an hour to spend, there'll be 5 or 6 3-4 minute clips of us answering questions or cutting on Furbies. Or if you do watch the show and want a quick replay of me cutting up the Furby, that channel will have cool, easily consumable clips for you to do that. But let's say some goodbyes and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. Captain America Mom, I appreciate you coming by. J Fox, you rock. D-Dub, glad you were here. JD, man, your name is complicated. J-Dub, Killing Kicks, that's actually a really good name. Renegade, Riglet, thanks for being here. The Lonely Leaf, you guys rock. All you guys that have been here this whole time, you rock. Harry Potter Freak, thanks for being here. Aquabeard, listen, you've got like 8 seconds to do it. Comment a suggestion for what we do on next week's live stream before we get out of here. You got to type it right now because I'm about to hit the button that ends the stream. Spam it right now. And we'll see you next week. I don't know, we're going to do something. Like every week has to have a theme. We could tear up something else. Who knows? Come back to find out. And until next time, peace out, guys.